All right. Thank you everyone for being here and welcome to our fall service learning orientation. We're really excited to have everyone here. This presentation is brought to you by our EDGE Fellows. That stands for Education Dedicated to Justice and Equity, and that is Daniela, Gina, Anna, and Azan. And we'll each get to talk more about service learning and our own experience and stories. But if anyone has any questions in the chat, feel free to leave those there, and we'll kind of monitor as we go, but we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so to welcome all of you into this space, we just wanted to let you know that all of you are part of a record-breaking number of approximately 300 students enrolled in service learning classes this semester, which is really exciting. And to kind of give you more context about the program, it's been around since 2004 at Dominican. We've had over 6,000 students participating in service learning courses and close to 200,000 hours of community engagement. So really just showing all the time and the effort from students, from community partners, and faculty. And each semester, we do like to survey students just to hear their feedback about what they thought. So we find that about 80% of people say that it was their first time taking a service learning course, which is great. 80% of people also say they were able to connect what they learned to their major or other courses that they took. And over 90% of people say that it supported their engagement and learning of course materials. So really just showing how beneficial it is to have this community engagement experience integrated into your course. So what exactly is service learning? Service learning is a little bit different than maybe some of the other experiences you might have had if you've done any volunteering or an internship or a clinical. Really what this is about is the intentional connection between what you're doing at your partner site and what you're learning in class. And the key word here is intentional, because we're seeking to create and find those connections. So really just showing up each week and then connecting it to whatever topics you're learning in class. And the great thing about it is that it's integrated into the course. So depending on which class you have, you'll have a community partner, and you should expect around 2 hours a week of commitment to that partner. It also nurtures the skills, the knowledge, and the awareness that we each have, and more that we're going to gain from the course and the experience. And it's applicable to many different fields. So you don't have to be, a social justice major or CASC minor to take a service learning course. It's open to anyone at Dominican. And whatever field you go into, the experience will be very valuable because you can take it with you and learn from working with different populations of people and just entering different communities. It also enhances our learning and meets community interests because it makes class much more interesting when you can actually draw from the own experiences that you're having each week and then connecting that to whatever you're doing in class. And it meets community interests because the community is really our partner in this. They're our co-educator. We're learning from them and with them. And we're each going to go into, a community that maybe we're not even that familiar with. So we're going to go in and they're really going to be the ones teaching us about their lives and how everything is on a daily basis. So we're learning with them and we're on the journey together in that sense. And it's also civic learning through reflection. So really just getting the opportunity to kind of think about what you're doing each week. And you're going to do that through Give Pulse impacts, through when you're writing assignments and papers, and you can draw on quotes or stories or just direct experiences, and it can really help you when you're doing all of that writing in class. All right, and so like I mentioned, each of the EDGE Fellows are going to share a little bit about their experience. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off. But my name is Daniela, and I'm a senior psychology major with a minor in community action and social change. And I started service learning as a freshman. So it's crazy now that I'm a senior to think back that it's been this long, but it's been so much fun. And I started with 2 courses my first semester of freshman year, and I signed up without knowing what service learning was. It just fit into my schedule and my advisor recommended it. And so I signed up and I went to this exact orientation and heard everything. And I was really interested after attending it. And during my freshman year, everything was entirely online. So I was really curious about how it was going to be because it felt like it needed to be something done in person. But luckily, it went super well. At the time, the program was looking for bilingual students who spoke English and Spanish to serve parents in the Canal community through a digital literacy project. So we all met over Zoom each week and we worked with a group of parents together as a group and individually, and it was so much fun. We taught them how to use Zoom. We taught them how to navigate Google Classroom and how to support their kids during distance learning because you have technology, but sometimes we don't always know how to use it and access it, and people don't always get the opportunity to. So this was a really cool program where we got to work with different parents and different families, and I loved it. I did it for 2 semesters in a row, and then I kind of kept going. I declared the CASC minor because I put myself halfway through with that. That's community action and social change. And I just kept taking more service learning courses. I did different community partners. And since then, I've worked with that group of parents. I did another project with some of their kids. And over the summer, I got to work with Voces del Canal, which is a really great community organization of very strong women who advocate for change in the Canal community. And even now, I have a job at Canal Alliance working with the adult ESL team, and that's all because of service learning, which kind of got my foot in the door. So it's been a really great experience, and the first time that I've gotten to use my Spanish in sort of an academic setting, apart from just being at home with my family. And so it's been really nice for me. I think it's the best part of Dominican so far because I've had the opportunity to work in the canal, and it kind of just feels like a second home because I get to speak Spanish there. I'm with community members, and we kind of share that sense of identity in certain ways. And I see some members of my family there in the community and the people that I get to work with. So it's been a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed it. And that's why I would definitely recommend to just be open to the experience and really welcome whatever comes from it. So that's my tip to you all. Go in with an open heart and an open mind and be ready to listen and willing to learn because you never know. Even though it's just a course that you're taking, it could lead to even more opportunities further down the line. So I highly encourage you guys to take advantage of that. And with that, we will move on to a little activity so that everyone can participate in this orientation. So if everyone could get their phones out, we're going to do a Mentimeter. It's very cool. It's a word cloud that we'll all create together. So go ahead, take your phone. You can go to menti.com and put in the code, or you can just scan the QR code, and it should take you to our poll where you will be able to see the very first question on there. So we'll give everyone a few seconds to do that. Scan the code and go to menti.com. And once you are there, it'll take you to our first question, which should ask you, what is the first word that comes to mind, or first word, so you can put more than one, when you think about service learning? So no right or wrong answer, just what comes to mind. Go ahead and type that in. Oh, cool, it's building up. We can see our words on the screen. Great, so we got community, helping others, purpose, that's great. Connections, that's really important. Learning, yeah. And so those words that are bigger are the ones that a lot of people are typing in, so that's great. That community is actually at the center because community is the center of all the work that we do. And you guys will learn more about that in your courses. This is awesome. I'm seeing caring, love, together, community service, support. That's wonderful. Awesome. You guys came up with a really great word cloud. It looks great. I see justice on there, togetherness. Awesome. I love it. All right. And then we will move on to our next question. So this is, why did you enroll in a service learning course? Again, no right or wrong answer, and absolutely no shame in saying that it fit your schedule or it's a required course, because you can take this as an opportunity to see where it can lead you. All right, so a lot of people we see fit my schedule. That's totally okay. That was me at the beginning. No shame at all, at all. Oh, we see, 16 people, and it's growing. Prior experience, okay, awesome. Worked closely, with my schedule. This is great. Yeah. So this is awesome to see what brings us here today. And for those people who it fit your schedule, again, take this as an opportunity. It could be something that you all really enjoy. All right. Well, thank you so much for participating in that. Very fun to see everybody's answers. I will now pass it on to our next speaker, who is another Edge Fellow, and that is Gina.
Thank you, Daniela. Hi, my name is Gina Dudley. I'm a junior this year, and I'm a social justice and psychology double major with a minor in pre-law. This semester, I'm really excited to be an Edge Fellow while participating in my sixth and seventh service learning courses. It's a goal It is my goal to show you how the service and community engaged research can benefit you in your long term education. So, a little bit more about me is I'm also a student athlete on the women's tennis team. And when I initially committed to Dominican, I committed as an education major. I changed my mind before I even got here. So, I ended up arriving as a psychology major. And then I accidentally enrolled in two service learning courses my freshman year. I ended up loving it my first semester, and that led me to declare the social justice major and my pre-law minor. But when I got here my freshman year, I joined a program called I Did Something Good Today. I loved it, but I realized it wasn't for me, but service learning was. So the next semester, I enrolled in another course and tried out working with Marin's Community School. Another great experience, but I changed again because I'm rather indecisive. So then I started in my sophomore year at Next Generation Scholars as a tutor for students who may be falling behind in school, needing a little extra help. And I loved that, ended up doing it my entire sophomore year. But in addition to that, I knew that I was really interested in law and the legal field, and I wanted to find a service learning opportunity that um, that could feed into that. So that is when I got the internship at the public defender's office of second semester of last year, and that is where I found what I loved. And this year I'm excited to continue with the public defender's office and another program called Youth Transforming Justice. So like I said, I didn't know I was joining a service learning class, but what really kept me with it was the connection. I was able to see everything I was learning in the classroom in the communities I was working with. It wasn't like, I don't know, math, where you're sitting there and wondering how it applies to the real world. Like, you're able to learn it and then go into the field and see it. Um, Moving on, community engaged research is an important concept that has been with me since my freshman year, and it's a practice that uplifts community members and places their voices at the center of the research. So not only do they take a leading role in every step of the process, from drafting research questions to providing qualitative data such as interviews, but the research is dedicated to creating a product that we can give back to the community. And that goal is determined when you have conversations with your community partners and members at the beginning of the semester. In her book, Juarez Girls Rising, Cervantes soon conducted her own research within a girls' school at called Alta Vista, sorry. And while describing her research, she said, "The humanization of the other, valuing the lives of all human beings, regardless of their social position or nationality, was at the core of our work." And those are the values that really drove me to my work with Next Generation Scholars and the Public Defender's Office. Um, well, at the public defender's office, I did often feel like I was serving from the margins. The margins is a concept that was proposed by bell hooks, and it refers to the overlap between the community and those who serve in it. So at the office, it was the clients coming into the office, and then it was me having to talk to them and provide them real time, very real answers. I was constantly uncomfortable and felt like I had no idea what I was doing, and that I was just kind of I it was a scary experience, but it's where the most growth happens. And it's scary for both the community and the service learner, but it's a necessary area to find yourself in order to create real change and see the real impact your work can have on the community. So my tip to you all is that I encourage you to expand your comfort zone, find something that you're passionate about, and locate that margin. Be okay with imperfection and always stay willing to learn. And that service is best performed through passion and community engagement. Thank you, and I will pass it back to my good friend Daniela.
Thank you so much, Gina. That was awesome to hear about your experience and that amazing tip for all these students. We will now pass it on to Anna. She's going to share her story and then some more important information about service learning with us.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Renario, and I am a senior occupational therapy student with a minor in community action and social change. And this is my second year being an Edge Fellow. So, my journey with service learning started as a freshman, unknowingly signing up for 3 service learning classes like some of my Edge Fellow friends, but I pushed through. But during this time, I had the opportunity to work with one partner consistently, and that partnership was called Young Moms Marin, tutoring one child and developing a relationship with their family. But it was during this time where I have seen and I have felt that there's this importance of showing up. And because of showing up, that's where trust can be built. And in turn, that turned into a very memorable and meaningful experience for me. So memorable that I declared a cask minor and followed through with my Edge Fellowship. But with these lessons of my first year doing service learning, I kept it in mind when it came to my next community partners, which has now been my longest connection I've had, which happens to be in Marin City. So I have found myself in the Finders Keepers Shop and Scholastic Academy in Women Helping All People, as well as Performing Stars. But here, I was lucky enough to be a part of this tight knit community that Marin City is. I was able to listen to their voices and their insights, and it allowed me to deepen my understanding of the rich history and systemic challenges, of which I was also very lucky enough to see and experience their capacity to address these challenges and how they support one another and just build great memories and friendships with them. This semester, I'll be working with Richard Gap as a tutor and furthering my research in systemic challenges in Marin City and how it can affect academics. So, what am I going to do with this information and knowledge after school, or how can I even apply it to my everyday life? In healthcare, I will be working with people from different backgrounds. And as an OT, it's going to be my job to get to know my patients, find ways I can adapt to their needs, and even understand what they need access to. And with service learning, I feel like I am gaining that practice and understanding to do that already. And outside of the world of healthcare, service learning has allowed me to practice the small details everywhere I go, develop empathy and humility, and even just broaden my overall knowledge. But what I can leave you with is that when working alongside vulnerable populations, building trust comes from showing up consistently, being open, and just creating a safe space when you can. But at the same time, we're all human, so don't be scared to mess up. Don't be scared to feel out of place and let yourself feel uncomfortable, like what Gina was saying, as the people you're working with probably feel the same way too. So yeah, that's show up in big and small ways. And thanks for listening to my little story. All right. So, if you are interested in anything that we're talking about today, we do offer further education opportunities here on campus. That includes the Community Action and Social Change minor, the Latin American and Latino Studies minor, and Social Justice majors. If you are interested, reach out to your faculty or check us out on our website, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So what do you guys need to do? There are 5 self-paced service learning modules to complete, and it is connected to the service learning program outcomes that is required for you guys. Each module, it takes around 5 to 15 minutes to complete. In each module, you're going to click through each slide and watch through all the videos that are within each slide. And at the very end of the slide, there is going to be an exit ticket. And when you complete your exit ticket, please make sure to have typed down your email correctly, as you're going to be receiving a PDF in your inbox for you to submit to your professor. The deadline to complete all of these modules is by next Wednesday, August 30th. And it's important for you to get this completed so you can sign up with your community partner and see if there's any other additional requirements for you to complete, such as fingerprinting, or if you have to attend an orientation, so that you can get in with your partner as soon as you can. So also within our website, you can see all your Give Pulse links for you to fill out your reflection and submit to your professor. There are also some more information about your community partners here. If you aren't interested, if you're feeling a little lost, don't know where you can start, here is some information that we already have with existing partnerships and just real life reflections. And if you want to hear more stories, just like our Edge fellows have shared, feel free to check this out. And then under About tab and in major and minors, there is some more information about what, if you are interested to continue your education in social justice, here's some more information to do that as well. All right. So once you are all done with all of your requirements, here are some practical reminders for you once you get into your community. So first, it's begin with just putting your cell phones away so you can fully engage with the people you work with. This is the best way for you to create connections, build rapport, and create memories. And then think when you come and show up, you are representing yourself and Dominican service learners. So think work casual. If you're working with schools or within a specific building, just follow the guidelines and be as respectful as you can. And then during your time there, it's important to find ways to engage. If you're finding yourself not doing as much, maybe ask around to see what ways you can support. If you feel like you aren't talking as much, see if you can find ways to listen. But if you're still having struggle with finding ways to engage, please feel free to reach out to your faculty. We can find any way we can to help you guys. And then lastly, if you will be absent, please contact your direct supervisor. Just as if you were in a job or you are working within a team, your partners are counting on you. So treat them with that respect and just give them that heads up. And then lastly, if you are trying to travel to your community service partner, please go ahead and try save all your receipts that you can. That can be digital, and we'll try and get you guys reimbursed by the end of the semester. Reach out to your faculty as well if you are interested in getting reimbursed for that form. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing your story and all of those helpful reminders and information for everyone. I also put in the chat the link to the Service Learning Google site. So if you all need that to find the modules and explore everything else that Anna mentioned, you can go ahead and click on that. But I will now pass it on to the next Edge Fellow, which is Azan, who will share more about his story.
Hi guys, I'm Azan. I'm a third year bio and social justice major, and so off the bat, that does kind of sound like a weird combo. I think my service learning story is a little different than everyone else's. Honestly, freshman year, I sat down with my advisor, and we thought that service learning would look good on my resume for medical school. So that's kind of the only reason why I did it at first. I thought it would just be a bunch of community service and then some reflecting that I would do, but that wasn't the case. My first community partner was San Pedro Elementary School. I loved working with the TK students, and I really got to bond with them and have some friendships with them. And then towards the second semester of effective communication, that's when one of the principals kind of pulled me aside and told me how much my work really meant to them and how it was bringing some change and improvement to the students. And that was just, amazing because I was so used to negative feedback coming from my professors on my exams and stuff. So, that was a change. And that's kind of the whole reason why I wanted to go into medicine. I really wanted to help people. And that was something that I was able to explore when I started taking CAS 3400 with Professor Wu. That's when I was introduced to Rotacare. And Rotacare has really changed my experience for service learning. I'm able to go in and help uninsured individuals right here in the Bay Area in San Rafael. And through that, I'm able to do the community engaged research, which Gina was talking about earlier. And it's completely different than the science research that I'm used to. One of the examples came from Juarez Girls Rising by Cervantes Soon when she introduced the idea of working the hyphen, which means trying to understand someone's positionality in terms of their privilege and oppression. When it comes to my own positionality, I'm a 19-year-old pursuing an education at an American institution, and I'm Pakistani American. I'm from a middle-class family, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to pursue an education. And when it comes to my community I serve, most of the patients at Rotacare are Latinx, and they tend to be uninsured. My background and culture do different from the majority of old people at Ortocare. When it comes to the community residents, I do not speak Spanish, and almost 80% of the patients do need translators. Another aspect is my own privilege. I've been fortunate to have great healthcare all my life. I've never had to worry about my insurance status or worry about getting care for any illness, which all of the clients at Ortocare unfortunately cannot relate to. When I try to navigate my way through Ortocare, I can see that there are many ways I'm working the hyphen. A particular interaction that I remember was with a patient that had increasing A1C levels every time they came into the clinic. At first, I kind of noted that it seemed like the patient didn't really care about their health and that they were forced to come to Rotocare maybe. But it wasn't until that second interaction that I found out that this was their first time they even got tests done or got to meet with a doctor. So, and someone who has an annual checkup every year, and I can see results that allow me to make lifestyle changes, I was blinded by my own privilege. As I continue my work, I have to acknowledge my healthcare background and privilege and maintain no bias in the research that I do to properly work the margin. I hope to continue working with Rotocare and shaping a capstone that can allow me to publish work that can bring attention to an unjust American healthcare system. With that, I think we should end today by doing something a little special. So as we close the orientation, I'd like everyone to grab a Post-it, your phone, or even a small piece of paper, and we're gonna write a little intention for the semester. So let me give you guys like 30 seconds to do that. Okay, once we have that. So first, just take a deep breath and think about how you want to go into service learning this semester. How do you want your experience shaped up to be, and how you can remain present and show up for your community partner. And then I have a few sentence starters for you guys. So let me put them in the chat actually. So you can start with I am, I can, I welcome, or I am open to. And I'll give you guys about a minute to write that. And then if you do have your camera off, this is the perfect opportunity for you to turn on your camera. So then at the end, we can all share our intention by holding it up. And so now that you have your intention written, hopefully, I would like everyone to hold it up towards the camera. So again, if you do have it off, this would be the perfect opportunity to turn it on. And then I guess I'll count us down from 3, and then we'll hold it up together. 3, 2, and 1. Great. Okay, and hopefully we'll stick by our intentions. And so, yeah, again, I would like to thank everyone for participating today and watching the presentation. I hope that all of you have an amazing experience this semester and truly get to enjoy the service learning opportunity. The Edge Fellows and I will stay on for a bit longer if anyone has any questions or comments. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an amazing night and take care.